Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And I apologize. You're sitting there looking at me and I'm sitting there not saying anything because I brought my screen over a little bit too early. But what's poppin' with you, ladies and gentlemen? The Knicks went ahead and pulled out that win tonight. You know, got a little bit closer than I expected it to after they jumped out to an 18-point lead, because the Chicago Bulls are a team that I feel you get an 18-point lead on, you can put them away. And for a second, I wasn't sure if they were going to put them away. Not for a second, from the second quarter to the beginning of the fourth quarter, just wasn't sure if they was going to put them away. But finally they did, 113-94. And the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, are one win away from securing a 500 record. They go 5-1 in a homestand. It's a good win tonight for the New York Knicks. Good win. Think about it. They just beat the Chicago Bulls. So they win the season series with the Chicago Bulls. Right? The Atlanta Hawks got smacked by the Philadelphia 76ers. So now the Knicks have a full one-game lead on the Atlanta Hawks for sole possession of fourth place in the Eastern Conference. And trust me, we're going to need this cushion because we go on a road trip next week and we play some challenging teams during this road trip. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But the Knicks secure that fourth spot right now, sole possession of the fourth spot in the Eastern Conference. They do exactly what they need to do tonight. The Celtics, they did beat the Charlotte Hornets, so they stay, they're now 33-30. They keep trying to inch up on the Knicks. If they're trying to get there, the Hornets keep dropping. They're 30-32. So there we go. Let's talk about this win, man. Let's talk about the Miami Heat beat the San Antonio Spurs. So they keep trying to, inch up in those standings as well. The Knicks jumped out to an 18-point lead and got a little bit sloppy, a little bit lazy. The end of the first quarter into the second quarter, they let the Orlando Magic, they let the Chicago Bulls back in the game. Next thing you know, it's a 5-point game. And you're like, okay, it's a little shaky. I wasn't as fearful as I was versus the Bulls, because I did feel like the Knicks would be able to flex their muscle a little bit against this team. With Phoenix, when the Knicks lost the lead, I was like, oh gosh, why'd you lose the lead? I wasn't sure if they could flex their muscle, and they didn't. But against the Bulls, I felt like they could flex their muscle. The third quarter, they let the Bulls stick around and hang around and take, the Knicks would have a 7-point lead and then they lose it. And the Bulls take a 1-point lead and, all that kind of stuff. The Knicks finally take a 1-point lead into the fourth quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, man, you quickly gets hot. I think you dropped like 11 points in the fourth quarter. And pretty much put the game out of it. And the Knicks continue to grow the lead 16, 18, and then the Bulls, for the most part, just gave up. You could see it in their body language all over the floor. Down the stretch of that game, the Bulls just said, forget it, we lost, we're done. For the most part, the Knicks defense kind of wore them out, tired them out a little bit. Tired them out. Nikola Vucevic, ladies and gentlemen, he was the guy for the Bulls, as expected. Had 24 points tonight, 26 points, whatever he had, 18 rebounds. 26 points, 18 rebounds for Nikola Vucevic. Then Lauri Markkanen, he had 14 points. For whatever reason, I wasn't thinking that Lauri Markkanen was going to play, but obviously he played. He had 14 points, 6 rebounds for Lauri Markkanen off the bench. Kobe White had 12 points, 9 assists for the Chicago Bulls. Thaddeus Young had 10 points, 6 rebounds. Garrett Temple had 12 points. That's pretty much it for the Bulls. They just couldn't get a spark, really. They tried to get a spark, but the Knicks kind of, stamped it out. And as for the Knicks, they were led by Julius Randle in scoring. He had 34 points tonight, 7 rebounds and 3 assists. A bounce back game for Julius Randle. Shot 52% from the field. He shot 57% from 3. I wasn't always crazy about his shot selection tonight. We'll say that. Wasn't always crazy about it, but he still pulled off, had a good game. He didn't have any turnovers tonight, although he probably should have had maybe 2 or 3. Because he spun in the lane a couple times and the ball got taken from him, and then the Bulls just gave it back to us. But no turnovers tonight for Julius Randle. RJ Barrett, he had 22 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 7 rebounds, 1 block. Played a really good game. 9 for 15 from the field for 60%. 3 for 5 from the three-point line for 60%. Played a nice floor game tonight for RJ Barrett. Reggie Bullock, he had 13 points, 3 for 5 from the three-point line, 4 for 8 from the field overall. Emmanuel quickly finally got hot in the fourth quarter. He had 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals for Emmanuel quickly. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks with a good win, big win tonight. And we're starting to, get used to saying that. The Knicks with a big win. The Knicks with a good win. You know what I mean? They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They go 5-1 on a 6-game homestand. Restart the streak. Like, you love to hear it. You love to hear it. Let's talk about this game, man. Let's get to it. Tony, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Good, what's good, Sim? Shout out to the
good,
chat.
Man. I feel good.
Peace, Queen. Your Blackest Time. Yeah, man. Good win. Good win. I want to start off with Noel, man. I think he is making a case to be put somewhere in that defensive of the year conversation or defensive team conversation. This guy, man, blocks, steals, deflections, hustle.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it. He is the anchor, and no disrespect by any means to Mitch. You know what I mean? Because Mitch was doing it as well.
Right.
In Mitch's absence, man, he's took on an increased role and hasn't missed a beat. Increased his effort. You know what I mean? Increased his value. So you gotta. I hope he gets some recognition. I definitely want to start there. RJ, great game. I think he had about 3 consecutive defensive lapses, but take those 3 lapses away, those 3 individual plays away. I think he played phenomenal. Randall, I think where he took his shots wasn't the bad part. It was the way he was shooting. He wasn't squaring up. He wasn't he wasn't squaring up. He was just throwing it up there.
Right.
Almost like heat checks.
Right.
And but even that with what I consider a bad game for him, he still had 30 plus. So this team is starting to show that they're more dominant. Like, we can actually say we're a dominant team. Like, even with the Bulls run, you know what I mean? We blew them out. We took care of business. Even with some bad performances here and there, we shaped it up and got it together. I think we could go on a good run down the stretch.
Okay. Steph?
Shout out to you, Sam. Tony, the chat. Just a reminder that I'll be on Friday at 5 p.m. to do the weekly review. Chicago gave us all we could handle up until the fourth quarter. I think the thing about the Knicks is the Knicks are mentally tough and they're not going to go away. You got to put the Knicks away. And right. Charlotte wasn't able to do that. Even in the Phoenix game, I knew we weren't going to go away. And I think that's just that mental toughness that we've developed throughout the year. That was a big part of the 9-game win streak, or 9 out of 10 now, because we were challenged at different points along the way and we met the challenge. I I agree with Tony about Noel. I just hope, the voters watch the game, right? Because if you're just looking at the stats, you might see, I don't know, 5 points a game, 2 blocks or whatever. But those blocks, when he gets them, they're big for us. They
Exactly.
they really create momentum for us. A team is maybe about to tie the game or extend the lead or cut into our lead, and it's just those blocks are big. Um, and like you said, no disrespect to Mitch, but Noel is just a better defensive player, even if you want to say Mitch maybe is better all around. But this guy is been incredible for us. Um, and the Knicks have different people that can get it done. Like Rose wasn't that great today, but quickly came out, right? With like 11 straight points and like the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter to pretty much, we were only up, I think, one at the time. So the Knicks have different people who step up at different times. So I'm excited about this team. We got a good stretch, a tough stretch coming up. But when you think about when we had lost 3 straight, we had a tough stretch coming up, right? And we won 9 out of 10. So I'm looking forward to see what we do on this road team. But it feels good to say we have a very good team. Not just a
Yeah.
good team, but the Knicks are very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Out of talent.
yeah, yeah, they just very good. However, whatever our formula is between talent, coaching, whatever it is, we got it.
Yeah, it's
Got it.
all
I'm really excited
it's
about them.
all working in there together, right? It's all mixing in there together.
Right. Correct.
Um,
Correct.
back to Tony, you were talking about RJ and some of the defensive miscues he had in the first half. That was something we talked about on the game preview. How RJ has a sometimes he'll give up that backdoor cut. And I think it was driving Tibbs crazy. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he was giving up that backdoor cut. And I don't know what it is with this team. Why? He gives up that backdoor cut. It's not just with this team. It's happened with other teams. And it's all about positioning. But, Tibbs lit into him, called a timeout, lit into him, and you seen RJ. This is what I really liked about it is Tibbs called a timeout. He lit into RJ. RJ came back, scored a layup, drove to the basket and scored a layup. You got to love that kind of fight in someone who, and he knew he made a mistake, right? He got mad, threw the ball against the court, against the stanchion. And then, went in, and he was thinking, damn, I'm about to hear it from Tibbs now. He took it, came out and scored the basketball. You can't ask no more than that from a 20-year-old. You know what I'm saying? You just can't ask any more than that. So, another really good game from the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. The 3-ball is dropping for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? They shot 44% from the 3-point line tonight. They were 12 for 27. They shot 46% from the field. The Knicks are playing very, very good basketball. They had 27 assists tonight, 10 steals, only 4 turnovers. It's called good basketball, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. It's good basketball. They turned it up when they had to. There's just not a lot that you can say. You can't say a lot negative about this game because they did everything that they needed to do. Although, the game kind of went up and down for them. They pulled it out and they stepped it up and their defense clamped down when it was necessary. All around good game for the New York Knicks. Again, 113-94. The Knicks defeat the Chicago Bulls, ladies and gentlemen. And I do want to apologize to you. I assume that the phone lines were going to be back up for the post game, but they are not. There is a server issue with the company that I'm using. I'm not going to say the company's name because I don't want anybody to think that they're a bad company because they're not. They're a good company, but they're having a server issue and it should be fixed by tomorrow. Because I am going to do a shoot around tomorrow. I wasn't able to do one yesterday because I got caught up in a bunch of meetings, but I should be good to do one tomorrow. So let's talk about this upcoming West Coast trip. Let's talk about that. Because, that is this is a big one for us. A lot of people thought that coming to this part of the season, this was going to be a make or break portion of the Knicks season. It doesn't look like it's going to turn out to be that way. Right? They play the Houston Rockets. I expect the Knicks to beat the Houston Rockets. They play the Memphis Grizzlies. That one could be up in the air. That's a tough game. The Denver Nuggets, the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers. That's the road trip. That's the road trip. 4 of those games are clearly very tough games. All right, let's start with Houston, and we'll kind of go down the line, and then, and then we'll, break it down from there. So let's start with Houston. I'm pretty sure you're not worried about Houston at all. I'm not. Expectations for the Houston game, Tony?
What's my man like to say? Barbecue chicken.
Right. Barbecue chicken. That's what he always says. Barbecue chicken. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it right now with what's going on with Houston, at this point of the season, what do we got? 10 games left to the season? 9 games left to the season or something like that? 9 games left to the season. All right, we got 9 games left to the season. Houston, they're the worst team in the league right now. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. They lost 5 in a row. I don't expect them to do anything great against the Knicks. They'll probably, pretty much they want to lose right now because they want to have the highest chance to get that first seed.
Yeah.
This should be
Wall's out for the year.
Yeah. This should be just
not injury. He's just sitting.
Right, just sitting. It better be just a straight up win for the Knicks. Stephanie, any thoughts on that Houston game?
Yeah, the Knicks got to get it. They have to be focused. They can't take them lightly, right? Any given night, another team can win regardless. But if the Knicks come in focused, and I believe they will, we got this one.
Yeah. And if they win, they beat Houston for the first time since 2013, the Knicks will at least be 500. I don't even know if it's 2013, maybe 2011, 2012, because I don't think the Knicks were 500 in 2013, right? That was Woody's last year, right? And they missed the playoffs. They went on they won like 13 straight games at the end of the season, and they missed the playoffs by like a game or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Half game.
Yeah, half game. I think
it was 2 games under 500.
Okay. Right. So that means, that's crazy. Since 2012, 9 years ago. It's the last time we've been at 500 or better. So if we go, and I think they have that in sight. They get it. They understand it. And I think they will go to Houston and take care of business. That's another one of those small goals that you can check off the list. 500. We go get that win. Boom. We're a 500 team. You can check that one off the list. And then we see Memphis. The first game wasn't easy. And I'm going to tell you what. The game we played at home versus Memphis, I feel like, I said it before, that was a turning point, a real turning point in this season. Right? Because we were losing close games. And it started to feel like the Knicks were wearing down, started to feel like they were emotionally depleted, physically tired. And then all of a sudden, the last 6 minutes of that fourth quarter, they find a way to come back from like a 13-point deficit or something like that. Or maybe there was less time left. I don't know. Send it into overtime and they win in overtime. And from there, they've been on a tear. Go on to win 9 straight. Right? They've been on a tear since then. But the Memphis Grizzlies, they were much better defensively than I gave them credit for. So I do expect that to be a dogfight type of a game. I would like to see the Knicks, and some people might, might call me crazy. I want to see the Knicks put a little bit more pressure on Ja Morant, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why. What I saw from Ja Morant, obviously he's good and he's nice and he's got all his talent and everything, but he's a little bit weak. I don't want to say weak. He's not strong yet. And I saw times when the Knicks did put some pressure on him, he got a little bit shaky with the basketball because he doesn't have a lot of strength. And I think guys like Reggie Bullock, could put a little bit of pressure on him and maybe make him, either give the ball up or lose it a little bit. Because right now he's gonna go past you with his speed, but he doesn't really have the strength to hold you off. So I would like to see them put a little bit of pressure on him until he starts, maybe he blows by once or twice or 3 times, and you say, okay, let's back it up. But I think that they could put a little bit of pressure on him and, maybe even make him lose the ball every once in a while. What do you think about that game? That's going to be a battle because they're fighting for the 8th spot in the Western Conference. They're in the 8th spot. They're a half game above San Antonio.
Let me start off. Were you coming to me?
Yeah.
I'm not.
All right. I'm sorry. Let me start off by just reiterating with some people in the chat that when you say one more win, it guarantees us no worse than a 500 record. Not
right.
Obviously we're shooting to be better than that.
Mm-hmm.
But then every game after that, it gives us a knowledge of where where we're gonna end up. It'll be 1 game over, 2 game over, and that's it's a goal every game after that. You know what I mean? Because now every win is another game over 500, and you play it like that. I feel like down the stretch, we're gonna be fine. We have this attitude, where we're not taking any team lightly, which we weren't necessarily doing early on. We lost some games in the midst of stretches that were winnable games, and we learned lessons from that. I think we've been learning all year. So I think we'll learn from the previous game against the Grizzlies, and again, I think we actually dominate that game as well. More barbecue chicken.
What do you think about that game, Steph?
I think it's going to be a tough game for us, like all of these games, right? Because everybody we're playing is playing for something. Playing, as Tibbs was saying, playing, positioning, home court advantage. And like you said, they're playing to hold on to that 8th spot. So I think it's going to be a dogfight. I just believe we're going to win. That's just where I am. I just feel like if you're not a top echelon team, and even if you are, we still coming. I just think we're better than them at this point.
Okay. All right.
I think we're better than them.
And we've fared well. I think our record is 12-10, now 12-11 versus West Coast teams, when we lost to Phoenix. So I think we're 12-11 versus West Coast teams. Then the next game is, we step up a little bit. We play the Denver Nuggets, although the Denver Nuggets do not have Jamal Murray. I think they're still a good basketball team, and I think they still have a lot of weapons. Right now, they're beating the Nuggets. They're beating the Pelicans 87-81. The last time we played the Nuggets, they let us have it. Right? We got smacked. We really got beat up, beat down really bad in that game. I don't see it being that type of game again, but I do see this being a tough game. How much does Jamal Murray being out, Tony, affect this team against us?
Significantly, I feel like um we as a team. See, I don't want to come off as overconfident because I feel like we got to take care of those first two. You know what I mean? But those are teams that arguably we're better than and we should be. So this game right here, I think this is going to be one of those tests. They're a good shooting team. Hopefully, by that point, Burks is maybe fully acclimated back. I think he'll miss the next game, but maybe he'll get maybe like 5 or 10 minutes next game, and then be ready for that particular. Yeah, he should be back by then because
He
that's
should be
the
back,
third
right?
game.
Yeah.
So yeah, he should be back by then. So hopefully we get him back at getting his rhythm and not just trying to get his rhythm. But I think what it's going to come down to that particular game is shooting. We're going to have to shoot the ball well. We're going to have to shoot a good amount of threes. I'm referring to.
Uh-huh.
Defensively, I think this might be a little bit of a test for Noel, but I'm not necessarily
It might.
worried about it. I'm thinking more of I say that because he's just a savvy guy. You know what I mean? He's not beating you with athleticism. He's not beating you with speed. He's beating you with IQ and savvy. You know what I mean? So sometimes a guy like that is dominating the league, but there's a particular guy who has his number or fares well against him. I don't know the history to say that is the case, but that's what I'm hoping. You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna figure him out at some point. You know what I mean? Or just he's gonna have to just make difficult shot after difficult shot. And if that's what he does, you tip your hat.
Yeah, but
But I don't think even him at his best. I don't think him at his best kills us.
But I don't
think
know
on
if
that
it's the
particular team,
shooting as much.
he's
I
just
mean,
gonna kill us.
obviously he can shoot basketball, right? But his passing as well is it's part, especially with Jamal Murray out. Now they're gonna run the offense even more through Jokic. So now they're really gonna rely on him to find open shooters, and to create the way that he can create, through his IQ, not like breaking people down off the dribble, but through his IQ. So Nerlens Noel is gonna be put to work that game, right? Because the ball is really gonna flow through him a lot.
I agree with you, Sim. But my point in that is don't double. No, let Noel do what he has to do against him. Make his shots difficult. If he makes them, he makes them. But double him. If you double him, he's gonna kill. You know what I mean? If you can stay with your guy, it's not so much. I don't care how great of a passer you are. If you're guarding your man, if you see the man and see your ball, it should be a fair assess. You know what I mean? A fair assessment, a fair game. He knows he's like a tall point guard in the sense that he reads the game. But if you're not leaving the double, if he's playing straight up, I think we have a fair chance against him. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, my only
RJ's
thing.
gonna have to.
I hear you.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I think that as far as I think at some point, if he's scoring on Nerlens Noel, you're gonna have to double. If he's having his way with Nerlens Noel, I think you're gonna have to double. We'll see how Noel stands if he is playing a one-on-one. I seen someone in the chat say Nikola Jokic is averaging 3 assists per game. Nah, bro, he's averaging like 9 assists per game, like 8.7 assists per game. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. This guy, he does a good job facilitating the basketball and getting the ball around. You know what I mean? That's going to be a tough matchup for Nerlens Noel. I don't remember what who, I have to go back and look and see who was playing the last time, if it was Mitch, if it's Noel, or what was going on. So I'm gonna take a look back in a second. Steph, as a matter of fact, while Steph is talking, I'm gonna take a look back. What do you think about that game?
Um, so obviously, like I said, on any given night, any team can be any team. I don't like us in this game. And I hope we get it. I hope we get it. Even without Jamal Murray, the last 10 games, they're 7-3. So they're finding a way to win without him. I think the Joker, as Tony was saying, and you were saying, Sam, that's the rub. That's what makes him so difficult. If you double him, yeah, he's going to pick you apart because he's going to find the open guy and he can look over the defense and see who's open, right? So I get you there, Tony. But then if you single cover, and he sees that nobody else is open for him to pass the ball to, he could take it himself. Like he can back Noel down with a hook shot. If Noel, kind of lays off him in the key, anticipating a drive, he can hit the three. He's just a tough cover, whether we're going to single cover or double cover him. And he's very heady. He's very smart. So he can look and see how we're playing him and then pick how he's, play off of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tibbs and the coaching staff approaches that. They have, Gordon is there now. I haven't watched him play in a few games. But the games that I did see, he was fitting in pretty well with them in terms of his passing as well. Michael, so they have players who stepped up in Jamal Murray's absence. If our defense is the way it was today, I thought our defense was better today, holding them under 94 points, under 100 points, Chicago. And maybe they're not used to seeing that type of defense. A lot of times in the West Coast, they're not. So that would work in our favor. But overall, I don't really like this matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be. It is going to be interesting. The last time we played him, Jamal Murray, he didn't really do much. He had 9 points and 3 assists. The first time we played him, he played 29 minutes, 4 for 9 from the field. Jokic had 22 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Then they had balanced scoring. Paul Millsap, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Jermichael Green had 10 points. Monte Morris had 12 points. PJ Dozier had 12 points. Now they got Aaron Gordon, and we'll see how that works out. Julius Randle had 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in that game. Mitchell Robinson, he played. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds. RJ Barrett had 9 points, 9 rebounds. That's going to be a difference. RJ Barrett is playing much better now than he was then. Right? Elfrid Payton, he had 12 points, 5 assists. We didn't have Derrick Rose. Instead, we had Austin Rivers. He had 6 points. Nerlens Noel played. He had 1.4 rebounds. Didn't play that many minutes. Quickly played. We didn't really have, excuse me, anyone else who really contributed in that game. This is a different team. The Knicks are a different team right now. So, that's going to be an interesting game. Yeah, and I think the Knicks want to get that one back because they got smacked that game. They ended up losing by 25 or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to really want to try to get this one back. And they're going to come out and play. And the Knicks are, just a more confident team now as well. So, I think that's going to be a game that they're going to really try to go out and get. After that, who do we play after that? I think it's the Phoenix Suns again. We're back at the Phoenix Suns. And, I think the Knicks are going to come out like gangbangers against the Phoenix Suns, man. I think they want that one back. I believe in my heart that they feel like they're winning, that they should still be on a winning streak, right? That they should have just won their 11th game in a row. And they're going to go back. They're going to go try to get that one back and even it up. I'm not gonna. They might pull that one out. They might really pull that one out because I think they're gonna want it. think they're gonna want that one. Uh,
Yeah.
what do you think about that game, Steph? 10 o'clock game out Phoenix, Friday, May 7th. So that's like a week from now.
At least it's a Friday. I can get some sleep the next day. Sam, I'm with you. I'm with you. We was right there. I mean, we playing them at home, at their place, so that does make it a little tougher. Um, but I think we can win that game. Remember, Cam Johnson, Kel Bridges really showed up for them in the fourth. In the fourth quarter and hit some big shots for them. You know, I think we can win that one.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen us play well against them. I didn't get the sense that we were playing like over our heads, like just on fire, and that was the only reason why we were in the game.
Right.
Played them tough.
Yeah.
So I definitely think we can pull that out.
Yeah.
I give the Knicks that win, quite frankly.
Yeah. What about you, Tony?
So I'm gonna change something I said to you off. Yeah, I actually think the Denver game's gonna be the toughest game during this trip. But if we pull that out, I think we could run the table
Mm,
on the road trip.
Wow.
I
okay.
think so. I think so. So what team are we up to right now?
Oh,
We're talking
Phoenix.
about Phoenix. We
Um,
on Phoenix.
all right. Not saying it's going to be a cakewalk because previously what I said off camera was I think the Suns game is going to be the toughest game of this 6 game road trip. So I still think it's going to be a tough game, but I think those 2 games right there we're going to have to fight for our food. It's not going to be barbecue time. We're going to have to fight for it. And but I agree. I think both those games we're going to have something to prove. You know what I mean? We're recovering from a blowout loss or redeeming a blowout loss, and then redeeming the loss that ended our streak. Which you got to feel like they felt like they should have won that game. A couple mental lapses, a couple key players not playing well that particular game. So I'll say if we win 3, we're gonna win 4, and then as we go on, I'll tell you why we'll win the next ones.
All right. Well, the next one is the Clippers. The next one is Clippers, and that's going to be, that's going to be a tough game, right? That's going to be a grinded out game. The Knicks were with the Clippers early in the season. They were with the Clippers. They was right there, right? They were right there, and then they couldn't pull it out. But again, this is a different team, and all of these teams, except for we beat the Lakers, right? All of these teams, besides the Lakers, the Knicks are going to be, on their get back, right? These are all revenge games. Denver, Phoenix, Clippers, they're all revenge games for the Knicks. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting them to come out. And I think the Knicks are going to be looking to prove themselves in all of them games, to prove that we can compete with you. And I want them to be looking to prove themselves in all of those games. And look, this could be a little bit of a journey for them. They might drop one and be like, okay, we let's get one and prove to everybody. I think the Knicks are on a mission to prove to the league that they can compete with the best of them, and that they are just one guy away from being, a top level team in this league. And they do. They just got this mission feel and look to them. You know what I'm saying? But the Clippers, go ahead, Tony.
So, as you pointed out, another revenge game. I really think they go into that game confident because it's a revenge game, but we didn't get blown out. Like I think the Clippers came out of that game respecting us. I think the league wide, their eyes opened up a little bit after that Clipper game we played last. I think individually, quickly got his respect from Lou at that particular time. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of things were proven already in that first Clipper game. Um, Now I don't remember did Kawhi Kawhi and PG played, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I think so.
they were at full strength. You know what I mean? You don't know what if that's going to be the case or not. You know, with them resting or whatever. But either way, I think again when I say run the table, I'm not saying automatic win, an easy win. We're gonna have to fight for it. But I think they go into that game just as confident as any other game. Like they're not worried about them. They know they gave them their close to their best shot and was right there. So again, we I think it's a win or at least a very another game where we gain some respect.
okay, yeah. Steph.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as confident as Tony on this stretch here. um, I don't think we get this one. I don't think we get this one. Yeah. I mean, I think this is a team that plays defense just like we play defense. I don't know if I think they're probably behind us or so, but they're still a good defensive team. Um, and they got players who, I'm not sure where they are. Let me see if they're playing for positioning or whatever, because sometimes, yeah, the
Yeah,
Suns are
Yeah,
43 and 18, they 43 and 20. So they're not
yeah.
looking to rest players. Their seating, their positioning is not solidified. So that means they're gonna come in hungry, ready. Um, and I think they get it.
That's gonna
I think
be
they
a
get it. I don't think it's gonna be easy, but I think they get it.
yeah. That's gonna be a dog fight. It's gonna be a dog fight, especially
Yeah.
that's gonna be a dog fight. The Knicks are obviously going to be fighting to stay in that fourth seed. Hopefully, they're still in that fourth seed by that time. Atlanta, look, I don't know when Trae Young is coming back, but without Trae Young, looking at teams that they've got to play coming up, it might be tough for them, man. It's gonna be tough for them. They got smacked by Philadelphia tonight,
And they played them again.
127-83. They play them again tomorrow night. Then they play Chicago. Without Trae Young, that's going to be a good game. They play Portland. They play Phoenix. They might be going on. They might be tumbling a little bit. I don't know how long Trae Young is out, but they might tumble a little bit without Trae Young playing these teams that they got to play. The Celtics, see who they got coming up. They beat Charlotte tonight. They play San Antonio.
They got the Spurs.
Yep, they got the Spurs coming up. That's going to be a good one. They play Portland on May 2nd. That's a good one. They got Orlando. They got Chicago. They play Miami. They play Miami in back-to-back games on May 9th and May 11th. Right, then they got Cleveland, Minnesota, and then I don't know what's up with these dates on here. They got December 31st. I don't know why they got December 31st, but they play us the last game
is
of
it
the
a makeup
season.
game?
I don't know. No, because they got December 31st for two games for Boston. Right? Boston versus Minnesota, December 31st. Boston at Knicks, December 31st. So I'm assuming they just made a mistake there. So, Boston has a favorable schedule. And they're going to be looking to, try to bump up and maybe jump over top of Atlanta. Right? And then Miami, they beat San Antonio tonight. They play Cleveland on May 1st. Then they play Charlotte on May 2nd. They play Dallas on May 4th. They play Minnesota on May 7th. Boston on May 9th and May 11th. Then they got Philly on May 13th. Milwaukee on the next game is Milwaukee, and then they play Detroit. So, out of these teams, I don't even know right now if we have, like Tony was saying earlier,
Schedule?
everybody kept saying, oh, the Knicks got this schedule, the Knicks got that schedule. Now they're playing this toughest schedule in the league. And look what we've done. Look what we've done. You know what I mean? I mean, I know we lost to Phoenix, but during the toughest schedule in the league, we catapulted to 7 games above 500. Now, obviously, we still got, we got to take care of business on this road trip. We get Houston and Memphis, and then we got 3 tough ones. And then I don't know what the Lakers look like. Right? What
AD
are the
is
Lakers?
back.
Yeah, go ahead, Steph. Who's back?
AD is back,
Yep.
but LeBron may be back by that time as well. And don't sleep on Boston. Boston is probably looking at their schedule, looking at our schedule, and thinking that they can shoot up to the 4th seed.
I'm sure they are. I'm
So
sure
we
they are.
can't
They're
slip.
looking.
We can't slip.
That's what I'm saying. We can't slip. I'm sure they're looking like they play Denver, Phoenix, the Clippers. Oh, that's the stretch.
Right.
We waiting for them to drop. That's why we got to go in there and get those 3 right there. We need to get 2 of them joints. We need to get 2 of them. We need to get 2 of them to secure it, I think. Because if we take care of Houston, we take care of Memphis. Then if we can get 2 of, I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, just give us 1, but I want 2. I'm getting greedy. I want 2 between Denver, Phoenix, and the Clippers. And we'll see what the Lakers. It's hard to judge the Lakers right now because we just don't know who they're gonna have. If LeBron is available to go, though, he'll play because they're trying to stay out of that playing game. They're trying to stay out of that. And right now, the Lakers they're the 5th seed in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And they are 2.5 games above the 7th seed. Right, so they're 36-26. The Portland Trailblazers are 33-28. The Lakers they're 4-6 in the last 10. They don't want to drop
that's the thing.
I
understand what you guys are saying about, they're definitely gonna be motivated. They're definitely, if LeBron's back, that's definitely a plus for them.
Mm-hmm.
AD's back, that's a plus for them. But at the same time, what is this? What's the date on this game? It's like what? 8 a week and a day away or something like that.
Yeah,
days,
something like that.
9 days away.
Week and a half, yeah, something.
I mean, theoretically, even if they're all back, I think they still have a period of where they're not going to be at their peak performance.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They're going to be working out some kinks. So we got to take advantage of things like that.
LeBron might be on a minutes restriction.
Yeah, LeBron may be on a minutes restriction, and to be honest, without those guys, it's not like they've been good or dominant. You know what I mean? So I think it's not a surefire win or loss. It'd probably just be one of those competitive games, and we could take it. we could take it. I'm feeling real optimistic right now. I got a question for you guys though.
Yeah.
Have we not lost the Phoenix game, right? Let's say we squeaked it out and won by 1, right? Would that change anything in your mindset as far as we would be at what 11 game win streak right now instead of like would it have changed anything?
For me,
in terms of my projections for this upcoming thing?
Yeah, or just your your perspective of the team. Did that loss hurt at all? Like hurt your thoughts about the team?
For me, it didn't. I just looked at it as it's a learning experience, and how do we respond? I feel like if we would have won that, we would have went on to win 12 in a row because we would have won tonight. We would have beat Houston. I'm assuming we're going to beat Houston, right? And then that's when in my head, I was like, because I was already saying, if we can find a way to get past Phoenix, we're going 12 in a row. If we can find a way to get past Phoenix, and then we hit the road and we got those tough games, boom, 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 boom. And this is great, would have been great cushion to have going into, those tough games. We still got great cushion, right? Because we've already beat Memphis. We know it's a team we can beat. We should beat Houston, right? So if we can add 2 more wins under our belt before we get there with 37 and, we'll be 37 and 28 with, a nice cushion. I don't want them to take that cushion for granted. You know what I mean? You don't want to take that cushion for granted. But in that trip, those 4 games right there, Denver, Phoenix, Clippers, Lakers, there's probably going to be a couple losses coming in my mind. Not that we can't beat those teams, but it's just you're playing tough teams. When you play tough teams, you can play them to the tilt. You're going to take a loss, just like we played Phoenix. It was a tough team, tough game. We didn't pull that one out. And there's going to be one of those, 1 or 2 of those games on there that I think, maybe you don't pull out just because it's a tough team. Not because we're bad or we can't beat that team, but because we're playing tough teams. When you play good teams, sometimes you lose. So, it doesn't really, I don't think that loss really changed anything for me. If anything, that loss actually solidified some stuff for me because of the way we came out, took a 15-point lead. I didn't expect us to keep the 15-point lead, fall all the way down to the end, and we're really a couple of missed shots away from probably winning that game if we convert those, if we make some of those key shots. You know what I mean? So really, to me, that kind of solidifies some things like, we really, really good. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of, yeah.
I remember somewhere in the midst of that win streak, you had said something, and then you had to make sure people would say, I don't want us to lose any game, but you were saying like we're gonna need a loss to maybe to humble us. I forgot exactly how you worded it, but I feel like that was the one that we needed, as far as like it wasn't a blowout. You know what I mean? We fought as we always do. A couple missed shots down the stretch could have won us the game. We get to face them again as revenge, and now we could try to get another stretch. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lesson, but we got an opportunity, and I think the team is confident enough to be like, hey, we could beat all these guys coming up, game by game. You know what I mean? Game by game, we could beat.
Yeah, so and what I like about what I guess this probably sounds a little weird, but what I like about the Phoenix loss is, like you just said, you get a chance to play them again just a few games later. So you take the L. Now you got a couple games where you can fix some things and get some things together. Like they said on the telecast, Tom Thibodeau was telling the guys, your defense ain't sharp. Your defense ain't sharp. Someone's gonna sneak up on you because the defense ain't sharp. Boom. Mm-hmm. It wasn't sharp against Phoenix, right? Now they're like, okay, we should have listened to coach. We got it sharp. Not that they didn't listen, but naturally that happens, right? Let's sharpen some things up. Let's get it right. We're gonna see him again, and let's prove ourselves. That's why I feel confident about that Phoenix game. And then if we get Memphis and we get Houston, we should win Houston. Then we can get Memphis. Then we look at that Denver game like, let's get this, because we want to go into this Phoenix game on a little bit of a winning streak, try to knock them out.
And now that makes them motivated again. Like, we just ended their streak. They on another streak. You know what I mean? So now we get their best effort again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, let's try to end it. Let's try to end their win streak again.
Yep. And that's going to be a heavyweight bout. Heavyweight bout right there. Man. That's a heavyweight bout. But, that loss was good, man. It was just a good loss to make sure you check yourself. Yeah, you can lose. Yep, you can lose. Make sure that you get checked. How do you feel about that, Steph?
About the about us losing that losing that one game and
Yeah,
breaking the streak.
about
And
losing that game and how you think it propels us forward into this upcoming trip.
I don't know if it changes much. I mean, I think, what you said about the defense, when a game like this, you can go back, you can look at the film and you could say there's been some slippage and they kind of corrected it in this game, Chicago. But I don't know if anything changes for me. I just think we're a good team, It's a shot making league. We didn't make the shots that we needed to make. I think we're going to tighten up our defense. We're gonna go into this, 6-game win streak.
Coach, early in
I
that
think 3-3. Tony thinks 6-0. But yeah, I don't think that one loss changed anything for me. I think what the winning streak did for me was to see that we are a good team. Like just no more, we playing over our heads, or no more, I expected the team to do this. Now we're doing that. The team has evolved over the course of the season.
Yeah.
And it just helped me see, like, wow, look at where they are. Now. And any team has something that they can show up. Whoever's in first place, who's in first place? Denver, right? No, not Denver. Utah. I'm sure their team is saying something like, we got to execute better down the stretch, or we got, every team has something that they're trying to sharpen up, So the Knicks are no different. That doesn't mean anything, that we're still working on things, right?
Right.
We're a good team. I'm excited.
Right.
Hey, can I just modify one of my thoughts and say, rather than a 6-0 win streak, I'll say we're gonna go 6-3 down the stretch.
These last 9 games.
We got 9 games left.
6-3 down the stretch.
6-3 down the
6-3.
We go 6-3. That puts us at 41-31. Ooh, that sounds good to me.
10 games over 5.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, man. That sounds good to me.
Wow.
That sounds good to me. But this
and that puts us at a half game window to keep that 4th spot.
Right. But what would you be happy with in just these 6 games coming up on the West Coast trip? What would you be happy with? I'll start with you, Steph.
Well, I'll be happy with 6-0, but I would take 3-3.
Okay.
If we split it, I think I would be very unhappy with a 1-5 or 2-4. I would be unhappy with that.
I think I would too.
Then Boston's schedule,
Yeah. 3-3 is yeah. It's got to be, for me. It's got to be 3-3 or better. You know what I mean? The thing is, I look at it and say, okay, we can get Houston, we can get Memphis. And then you got to say, okay, which one of those next 4 do we get? Anywhere in there, you talk about maybe you're putting together 2 or 3 losses in a row. I don't like putting together at least definitely 3 losses in a row. You know what I mean? So hopefully, we can take care of business. What about you, Tony? What's the worst that you would accept?
The worst I'm accepting is 3-3, and I'm not happy with 3-3. Like 4-2, I'm content. And then anything after 4-2, I think that's where we should be. I think 4-2 is where we should be, and it should get better. I'm not happy with 3-3, but I'll take it. But for that if that happens, now we got to win 3 straight for my prediction.
Right.
Correct. So I want the best window to give us give us that 6 out of 9 or better down the stretch for these last 9. I think that gets us the 4th seed. I think it's looking like I'm gonna get my wish of Miami or Boston in the first round. I think that's what it's ultimately gonna come down to. I look at the teams most likely to move up, and it's those 2. So I'm excited, man. If I could get to a playoff game, It's gonna be heaven for me.
Nah, I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel you. I'm pretty sure sooner or later I'm gonna get that email to say them playoff tickets are available because you're down to 9 games, right? So when you look at it right now, what do the Knicks need to do to clinch a
Well,
playoff
I
spot?
believe they already clinched. They already clinched the play in.
Have they?
I think we need another half game.
The worst they lose out, they the 9th, they the 10th seed. Like if they lose out and everybody else wins out or whatever the case, the worst they could do right now is 10th seed. So they clinched the play in. To clinch the playoffs,
Have
that
they?
means clinching. That means clinching the 6th seed. Yeah, Clyde said it tonight.
Because the Knicks have 9 games left. If they lose all 9, let's just say they lost all 9, they'd be 35 and 37. The Wizards are in the 10th spot right now, and they're 34 and 28. So how many games do they have left? 10 games left. So if they won all 10, they'd be 38 and 34. So I think we need a couple more wins to clinch that.
Nah, I mean, according to somebody on the announcement, whether it's Clyde or the gentleman next to him, we can't finish any worse than 10th. The reason that's not considered clinching the playoffs, because now clinching the playoffs is a 6th seed.
I thought they said 0.5 though.
Oh, so one more win will clinch the 10th
Yeah,
seed?
I think it was like a half a game, if I remember.
Because
I assumed
one more win. I think it was one more win.
I assumed the game wasn't over. So the fact that we won this game,
that was it. That was the game.
Clinched
Okay.
the 10th seed.
I mean, when I'm looking at the numbers right
unless he
now,
said when he said a game, maybe it was a full game, which would mean one more win.
yeah, because when I'm looking at, like I'm saying, when I'm looking at the numbers right now, the Knicks are 35 and 28. If they lost all 9, the remaining 9 games, they'd be 35 and 37. The Washington Wizards have 34 losses and 28 wins. So let's just say they won all 10, they'd be 38 and 34.
But they're the 10th seed. You got to look at the teams below 10.
No, they would replace.
I'm saying, if we lost, but if we
10
no, but what I'm saying is if we lost all 10. Okay, right. So the team below 10 is Chicago. They have 36 wins. Right? So if we lost all 9, we'd have 37 losses. And if they won the remainder of their games, which they have 10, they'd have so we need one more win. Because we won the tiebreaker with Chicago.
Wins.
Right. We won the tiebreaker with Chicago. So we need one more win. Right. Because if we came out of that 4th spot, everyone would move up. So if we beat Houston, then we clinch the play-in. And then to clinch the playoffs, that's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Right. Because Miami and Boston are both 33 and 30. So to clinch the playoffs, we need a couple more wins under our belt. We've got to get to, we got to win 7 more games right now based on the way it is now, because Boston and Miami both have 30 losses. We'd have to win 7 more wins, and that still wouldn't clinch it because Miami wins the tiebreaker over us, I guess.
Miami got,
So, of course, this little grouping between 4 and 7, that's not going to be decided until we get way down the line, most likely. You know what I'm saying?
Unless one of them go on a big losing streak.
Unless they go on a big losing streak, or, we hit another winning streak and win the next 5, that'll probably put it in the books. But, hey, let's go get this Houston win. I guess that's the next goal, man. We get this Houston win. We can guarantee 500 and we clinch the play-in. You know what I'm saying? That's the next goal right there. So we got to get that Houston win. Let's clinch it. You know what I mean? And you know what it'll feel good too? Is that we wouldn't be backing in, right? We would have went out, beat Houston, and clinched the play-in. Even though it's just a play-in, we would have clinched the play-in. You know what I mean? And it feels good to know that we single-handedly did it ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
And scratch one off.
That's what I'm saying. You know, take another one of those small goals off the board. What's up, Isaiah?
What's going on, Steph? What's going on, Tony? Black Star. What's going on, Steph? Shout out to the Leeds and the Knicks podcast, man. Just with them guys. Yeah, so I definitely agree with you, Sam, about, you know, the next small goal should be like, you know, winning the play-in. And then also, I think another small goal is let's just make sure we have a positive record. You know, I think if we get this next win, there's no doubt we'd be 500 if we lose everything else, but we would still have a record. And then after that, we're at 35. Let's try to get to 40. That'd be another small goal. Let's get to 40 wins. I don't remember the last time to have 40 wins. So, you know, we gotta keep getting these small goals up. It's happy that it's going to be really, really great that we're going to have we don't play till Sunday, I believe. So, look, we got I'm not going to count, but we got a couple of days off. So, you know, get these guys some rest. They're probably going to leave They're probably going to leave maybe Friday or Saturday to go to Houston. So, then we have again, right? So you don't have John Wall. They're statistically the worst team in the league. So, you know, this has to make them attractive. But I know we're going to talk about that on another episode before the game preview or whatever. But the Knicks can do this, man. The Knicks can finish the season strong. Let's do it, man. Like you said, every baby step, small goals, and you know, we move on to the next.
If I'm the Knicks, I'm leaving tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say
I'm leaving tonight. You know, because you know, you leave tonight. You remember, there's going to be an hour time difference, right? So you leave tonight, you wake up there, and so now you get to, you know, you get to sleep through whatever the time difference is and all of that kind of stuff, and bam, you're ready. You know what I mean? Instead of like, you know, we leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what the flight is there. You know, say it's a 3-hour flight. You know, you get there at 9, but it's still 8 there. You know what I mean? I'd rather just wake up. And when I wake up, that clock says 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it says, and you ready to go. You know what I mean? So if it's me, I leave tonight. That way it gives you 2 whole days to just acclimate while you're there. You know, you have the 29th, the 30th, and the 1st, because you play on the 2nd. You get, you know, all of that time to acclimate. That's just me. I'd rather wake up there. I would
leave. I would leave probably Friday because, you know, again, right? Some of these guys do have families.
Friday?
Yeah,
bro, they're not leaving on Friday.
Again, but my thing is, or Friday or whatever, or Saturday, because again, right? Some of these guys have families.
Saturday.
Some of these guys have families.
We get that, but again, bro, they're not
they
leaving
have
on
families
Saturday.
It's about to be, this is a long. This is about to be a long.
They play on Sunday.
But it's gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long road trip, man. And you know,
listen, Tibbs is the coach. They left already. We having this show. They left,
bro. They are not leaving on Saturday to play a game that has. I
didn't say Saturday. I said Friday.
You just said Saturday.
I said no. Steph said Saturday. I said Friday.
No, I didn't say Saturday.
She said leave tonight. You did. You can rewind it. You said Saturday.
I said Friday.
You said Friday. Then you said Friday or Saturday. That's why I said Saturday. They play on
Sunday. Please let me know if I said Saturday.
You did say Saturday. I said, but it's
you did.
Maybe you meant to just say Friday.
Yeah. I meant to say Friday, but it's all right.
You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm leaving tonight.
I'm just gonna give him a day.
I'm leaving tonight so we can wake up there tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All the kids go to school over Zoom. They can go to school from, you know, they can get on Zoom from Houston. Mm-hmm. Families can go with them. You know what I mean? I'm leaving tonight. They just won a 6-game home trip. They've been home for about a week and a half.
Right.
I'm leaving tonight. So, you know,
business trip. It's a business trip.
It's a business trip. I'm leaving tonight. I'm getting there. You know, you got a couple of days to get yourself acclimated to everything. have your body right. You get 3 days to be able to be there and practice and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? You want all of that, because it's a lot to travel. You got to get there, get into your hotel and do all this kind of stuff. You get there tonight, then tomorrow. Look, you get there tonight, then tomorrow you can rest a little bit. Maybe you have a shoot around, you can rest, and then you get to practice Friday, you get to practice Saturday, Sunday you're ready to go. That's how I'm rocking with it. That's how I'm going with it. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen, man. I mean, what's crazy? I did forget that they had a big homestand. I don't actually why I forgot, but it just felt like we just been here so long that, they probably did hang with the family a lot. So, they should be fine. Hey, man, it's a lot of bad places to be besides Houston for the next couple of days,
Hey, they're going to be, they get there, get themselves right and go get this win. Tomorrow, I am going to do a shoot around tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Probably because it's going to be, a straight up, shoot around. Just, call in. I wasn't able to have the phone lines up tonight. The server is down or whatever is happening. So hopefully it's up tomorrow, and we get a chance to have a straight up call-in show. It's going to be later. It's probably going to be around 3:30 or so, because I have a bunch of stuff, going on in the morning. And we'll just get a chance to call in, shoot around some stuff with the Knicks, ask questions, talk about different topics, different things that come up as we prepare for this. West Coast trip. Great win. I'm feeling good. Everybody can feel good. You know what? I do want to end with Tom Thibodeau. I forgot about that. I want to hear Tom Thibodeau. Get your guys' thoughts on what Tom Thibodeau had to say, and then we'll call it a night. This is Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen.
Everyone, coach is here. If you have a question, raise your hand and I'll bring you into the room. Rebecca Harlow.
Coach, early in that fourth quarter there, you had some nice defensive possessions and then the quick 11 points from Quickly. What clicked there to finally put the Bulls away after they had been kind of hanging around all night?
Well, I liked the way the game started. I thought our starters really got us off to a good start, and I didn't like the way the bench played in the first half. But I thought in the second half they were terrific. So, and again, it really starts with our defense. If we can get stops and we can go, and then we got a number of guys that can put the ball in the basket. So, just trust each other, trust the pass, make plays, and find a way to win.
Vaccaro.
Tom, you guys have put yourself in as good a position as you can going off on this challenging road trip. Are you kind of looking forward to seeing how you guys respond to the challenge of these 6 games coming up?
Yeah, and I think, for us, and, we talked about it after the game, it's just nothing changes. And so when you begin the season, you think about all the things that you have to prepare yourself for. And so you don't want to look ahead. You don't want to look behind. You just want to – the only thing we're thinking about is Houston. So you take it step by step and get yourself ready to play. And when the ball goes up, we got to find a way to win. And it's really that simple. So don't get lost in, looking at, it's the end of the season. There's whatever, how many games left or however long the road trip is. For us, it's just, okay, let's get in, get our work done tomorrow, and let's be ready for Houston when the ball goes up.
Hey, Popper. Steve, we can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tom, some of the same things you talked about, the challenges of the trip, but is that the same thing tonight where you guys see that big lead disappear and they come out on, with fire in the fourth quarter, kind of not giving in?
Yeah, you're still striving, to be a 48-minute team and build the right habits. And, the thing is to obviously if you're building a big lead, you're doing things well, but you also have to understand, how quickly leads dissipate in today's game because of the three. So if you let your guard down or you're not guarding, and all of a sudden you can get 10 points in a minute. And so no lead is safe. And so you have to play with a lot of toughness. That team could spread you out. It's a hard playing team, so we knew it would be a challenge. So we'll take a look at the film, fix the things that need to be fixed. And as I said, the big thing is get ready for Houston.
Jeff Bondi.
Hey, Tom, in the second quarter there, after Lloyd Markkinen had that backdoor in the second quarter, you seemed pretty upset about it, and you let the players know. Is this the type of group that, can take that kind of tough criticism well and respond?
I don't know. I see my job is to tell them the truth as I see it. So, you can get beat. The players in this league are great, and they can beat you on a great play, but it shouldn't happen over and over again. So, I know when we're at our best, that doesn't happen. So, and it wasn't only, the player who got beat on the back door. And I always say that, our ball pressure and our weak side awareness should cover up for any mistakes that we make. So there was a compilation of errors. And to win in this league, that can't happen.
Mark Berman.
I mean, obviously, Julius and RJ didn't have great outings against Phoenix, and tonight they combined for more than 50 points. I mean, how did you expect them to bounce back with such a force?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, here's the thing. I mean, I like the way you work backwards, Berman. You haven't changed in 20 years, but 30 years, whatever it is. No, and that's part of the game, And Phoenix is a terrific team, and again, with a minute to go, we got a chance to win the game, and so we were upset that we didn't play our best. But our guys, what Julius has done all year, and what RJ's doing, both of those guys are terrific. They're not going to be great in every game. No one in this league is. So whatever happens, you learn from it, get ready for the next one, and let's go.
Jeffrey Bernstein.
Yeah, Coach, I'm just wondering, after the tough loss the other night, after having won 9 in a row, were you at all concerned about the team's, mental state coming to this game? Obviously, you got out to a big lead, but then, that went away after a while.
Yeah, and again, I think it comes back to what you talked about at the beginning of the season, all the things that you're going to go through. And that's why it's important to always look at every game. And after each game, you analyze why you either have won or why you've lost, try to make your corrections, and then move forward. And the games keep coming. So you want to build that habit of preparation. I think your confidence will come from your preparation. And there's a lot of work that goes into it. So you're always concerned about everything. You go into every game and you think about whatever psychological advantages you may have or they may have. And then you also factor in all the preparation that has to go into it to get ready to play. And if you've done all that you can to prepare, that's all you can do. And then you should be confident when you're out there on the floor.
We have time for 2 more questions. Ian Bigley.
Tom, Nerlens Noel, I think he's the only guy in the NBA averaging 2 blocks and an assist per game. Just what he's given you night in and night out, and particularly tonight. Think about where the team would be without him and what he's done. Yeah,
no, just terrific. We've been fortunate. The way he's played, the rim protection, the shot, it's elite shot blocking. It's such and I think he had 5 tonight, but he impacted many others. And he's the anchor of the defense. He's terrific with pick and roll defense. And then you factor in what Taj has given us also. And then what Mitch had given us at the beginning of the year. But Nerlens has been fantastic. And, he puts enormous pressure on the rim offensively. He sets a lot of screens and he rolls hard to the rim. And, there's not a stat for that. You don't see it, but that's what makes your offense go, is having the pressure on the rim. And he does it relentlessly. He'll do it, 50, 60 times in a game. And so he's expending a lot of energy, and it tells you about his commitment to his team, his teammates, and winning.
Last question, Mike Vorkanoff.
You guys had that big lead. Obviously, I think it was 18 at one point, and they tied in. And obviously, you had a big lead Monday night, and Phoenix came back to win. It's happened at other points this season. Do you see a collective thread there about why the big league seemed to evaporate for you, or is that kind of both teams go on runs type of situation?
Yeah, I think it's part of the game. You see it. Would I prefer for that not to happen? Yes, but that's also the reality of this game. It's just the way people are shooting the ball and the speed of the game and the different things you can do with it. And that's why you have to emphasize, that you can't let your guard down. You can't rest on defense. And sometimes you can. These players are great. And you can sometimes defend it perfectly, and they still have the ability to make. And then if you're putting two on the ball, you have to recognize that, okay, we've got two guys on the ball because that guy's a special player, and now we got to protect the paint and then react out and cover the line. You got to fly around. If you're not flying around, you're not going to get that line covered. And then after you cover the line and challenge the shot, then you got to get into the body and go rebound the ball. So there's a lot that goes into it if you want to be a great defensive team. And you have to it requires multiple effort on every possession. And so we have a number of guys that are doing that. But if one guy's slow, it'll show up.
Anyway, I think I was muted for a second. Tom Thibodeau, man, he always lays it out there. A lot of coach talk in the post game interviews and stuff like that, and he's straightforward. I seen someone in the chat said, and thank you for the super chat. 007 Angelo, he said Tibbs is the NBA's Bill Parcells. No nonsense, hardcore. Hey, that's exactly what it is. And that's the reason why this team is doing what they're doing, man. There's not much more you can say about what this team is doing besides celebrate it and look forward at what they can do. And so now, again, those small goals, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this win against Houston.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? We get the win against Houston. We secure 500. We get that. We clinch that playing game and on to the next small goal. So, yeah, proud of these guys, man. Proud of these guys. Anyway, I'm gonna head out. Again, shoot around tomorrow. Look for the notification, ladies and gentlemen. Steph has got her Queen's Court on Friday. So we're gonna keep you there. We're gonna keep it coming all the way up into the game. You know what I'm saying? We got content for you. So, you're not gonna be missing out on anything. Won't be missing out on anything. All right, we'll keep it there for you. What's going on, man?
And before you go, I must ask you and Tony, who are the New York Football Giants taking tomorrow with the first pick?
I have no idea.
Pick number overall?
No.
First pick.
I don't know, but I do want to say something about what Thibodeau said. And also what I said after the Phoenix loss, why I was a little upset about the loss. But I feel like the next step is we getting these leads. It's securing these leads. Not letting these teams come back and get back in the game. I'm happy with the effort. Obviously, it ended up being a blowout win, but we gotta stop giving these teams light, and it's a tough task because the way the league shoots the 3-pointer, but we've seen it. Look at who got smacked by 44 today. I want to see another one of those. I want to see maybe two more of those before the season's done, and and show some more grit. But I'm satisfied with where we are. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. Slim, keep doing your thing. And I just want to let you guys know Knicks and Brews is back. You will get at least one episode a week. I'm working on 2, either Monday or Wednesdays. So
Yeah, no doubt
So,
about it. No doubt.
And,
I caught the
and
one
Sam,
earlier
one more
today, man.
one more thing.
Hold
Sam.
up. I caught the one
appreciate it.
earlier
Rafael
today,
to
man. It was dope.
Diaz.
Yeah, it was dope. I had
Appreciate you.
to get back into a meeting, so I wasn't able to stay on the whole time, but it was dope, man. It was a really good conversation. You guys need to go check out that Knicks and Bruises. And another thing, just really quick, that I like about Tom Thibodeau, man. Obviously they were talking about RJ, who was getting beat backdoor, right? But what Tom Thibodeau was like, when the player got beat backdoor, he's not gonna just be like, yo, RJ got beat backdoor, boom, boom, boom. He might do that in the locker room. He might do it to RJ. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. Mm-hmm. But in the media, he's like, when the player got beat backdoor, I love that about him. He protects his guys. Protects his guys, man. And that's why they love him.
Of course. I was going to say, so again, right, it's just Rashad on all the shows. Cooking with Seth J, we'll be back. Listen, it's really tough, guys, to cook food, when we only play a game. But, some got the Queen Court and we cover these shows. But once the season's over, we are going to be back during the summer. We're going to be filling your bellies up. You know what I'm saying? So don't you worry. We're coming back with that. And I want to say, man, I'm excited because we're going into May with 9 games left, and we're not talking about any draft prospects. We're not talking about who we're going to pick. We're not talking about doing a special TV show. We're doing a special MBK show for the lottery or just see where we pick. I'm so happy for you, man, because I said when we sucked that once we start getting going, the views are going to be coming. It's going to be so much brighter, so much happier. So, shout out to you, man. Shout out to Gilmore. Shout out to all you guys, man. Because what I'm saying, we went through the crap, yo. We went to the and the Knicks lost a tough one this game. But you know what, man? We're gonna be talking about playoff basketball this season. And I'm so excited for it, Sim. I think, Sim, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the first time. This is going to be your first time talking about playoff Knicks basketball.
It is. And I can't wait to talk about adjustments from game to game, man. It's going to be beautiful. Like, this is not a throwback game, Sim. Bro, this is my bag right here. Talking about adjustments from game to game. We're talking about the same team. Like, this is what I do. It's what I do. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're about to head up out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm excited. I can't wait for it.
I appreciate you all. Again, the phone lines will be back up tomorrow. All right? Make sure you're checking out Knicks and Bruises. Make sure you keep that. You should get the notification for the Queen's Court sometime tomorrow. So make sure you set the reminder for that. All right? And let's get it. Oh, the controversy. Yeah, we got a controversy show coming out this week as well from Josh. So be ready for that, ladies and gentlemen. We up out of here. And while I'm talking about everybody else, Legion of Knicks podcast is in the chat. Make sure you go check out Legion of Knicks. All right, make sure you go check out Legion of Knicks every game. He's doing the show tomorrow. He's doing the draft tomorrow too. Every game, well, check him out for the draft. But every game, of course, he's streaming every game, live streaming during the game. So make sure you go check him out. And you might as well go ahead and check out the front stoop too while you're at it, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. Check y'all tomorrow on the shoot around, man. Be peaceful. And hopefully we got those phone lines back up, ladies and gentlemen. And for those who are members, please make sure you go into the community section. And there is a link in the community section so you can get into the chat here. All right. All members have access to that link. So go into the community section where I do posts and only you can see that link. There's a bunch of posts up there. Other people can see those posts, but only you members can see the link post. So make sure you get that done. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Peace.